What are y'all doing? Good morning, Mac Pearson, Herb Hooper, right there at the beginning. Appreciate you, fellers. And per the usual, I am still preparing. But for those wondering why you got the notification and suddenly couldn't find where I started on this, it's because I had only designed it or printed it out to go across 2 feet. And after I started tracing, I said, okay, this is too small because I couldn't get all the details. The detail was too small to cut. So I went ahead and ended that live feed with a couple of apologies, and I reprinted it out at 3 feet wide. So we're still taping that together, but I'm going to move the camera. And forgive any sound effects you hear. I need my phone on, so when the internet provider shows up to give me a second line, I will have them in the live feed at some point, but I will come back. But I'm going to set up the camera a little higher since this piece is going to be much bigger. So y'all bear with the usual chaos of my process. I'm going to set up the clamp and we'll keep this in place. I thought I was going to get this done in time, but no, I never do. So there's that. Okay. I really got to rig up a better system here. And good morning, Mr. Josh Grover. I don't have the exact dimensions yet, Josh, because I still have to lay it out, but I'm going to have to move that clamp because it's all up in the top of my head. I printed it out for 3 feet wide, but it remains to be seen if I actually printed out that size. Okay. So as I lay it out, we'll all know together, but I still got to tape the rows together. I've already taped individual sheets together. But there are 15 sheets of paper for this. Now some of it will be cut off. I have to tape it together, and then we'll determine how much to cut off on the sheets of paper. It will be approximately 3 feet wide. We'll find out as soon as I get it all taped together. I will turn the camera here shortly as soon as I get this paper lined up, and then we're just going to do this in pieces, by golly, because this is part of the fun process of doing a piece. So that's pretty much the width of it, but yeah, we'll get that figured out. As soon as I get it taped together, I'll give you a very accurate, and common sense would say, the average person doesn't want to see me tracing stuff onto wood, but there's a couple reasons why I'm choosing to do it. Number one, some people want to see how I get it onto the wood, and another very big reason is because since I started doing these live streams, a lot of people have fun just hanging out, and so that's a lot of what we're doing. So y'all bear with me as I tape this together, but I did forget to bring the tape over here with me because that would have made entirely too much sense. So let me run get that right quick. Good morning, Jacob. Be right back. And of course, I'm going to bump the camera because I'm not used to the crane being right above my head, so that could happen a few times. I came prepared, though. I bought tape for the future. And I finally went out and got the drill bit and double-sided tape, but I still haven't secured the tape or the Lexan table to the to the scroll saw table. Good morning, y'all. Appreciate you being here. I'm going to tape this together and then I will give y'all an accurate depiction. We're going to do a 1/2 inch border around this piece. And since, you know, it has a wooden background, you won't see it as much except for beside here. You'll see a 1/2 inch border here and mainly at the bottom where everything cuts out. But I got to figure out a better way to print these out to where I don't have so much waste area down here. But yeah, it'll be a 1/2 inch below there will be the border. As soon as I get done taping these together, then we'll do all that. Don't start out the morning being a butt nugget, Josh. It's too early to be a butt nugget. And stop grinning when I say that. Okay, I gotta line this stuff up because once it's taped, it's taped. I can usually tape the individual rows together side by side at my computer desk, but even that gets a little cumbersome because my computer desk is cluttered as the rest of my shop. But once I start taping, I can't undo it unless I cut it all to heck. So that's why I'm trying to be very careful on the placement of everything to make sure it's where I want it when I go to tape it, by golly. Okay, now that I have it where I want it, I'm going to put something heavy on it so it doesn't move. Well, heavy-ish. But I'll start taping the row together. And there's 3 rows of 5 sheets of paper. Herb Hooper says, question, did you get any sleep last night? Actually, I actually did. I got about 6 or 7 hours of sleep. So that's cool. It's always good to get sleep. Good morning. Excuse me. Good morning, Anthony Gamble. Appreciate you being here, sir. Although I put this heavy stuff down, I still want to make sure before I put tape down each time that nothing has moved. Very slight movement, but nothing that will alter the design here. I'm just going to place it sporadically for now to hold it in place until I can put more pieces of tape on there. Because I guarantee y'all aren't excited about the tracing process. We're here to hang out, by golly. Well, I say I guarantee, but I don't know what other people think like. I go through a lot of tape, as you can imagine, and paper. Hello, Mr. Jesse Ramirez. I enlarged the picture by going to rapidresizer.com and choosing a larger dimension. I originally had it printed out at 2 feet wide, and that was too small, believe it or not. That's how I enlarged it. Rapidresizer.com is where I go to enlarge my patterns. They have varying subscription rates. I use the basic because all I do, even with the basic membership, you have unlimited resizing, and that's all I use it for. There's other tools that can be used on it, but I don't use them. I only do the resizing. And there's probably ways to fine tune it to come out exactly the size you want it, but I think I have it set to where there's a little bit of an overlap. That's why I have to, I don't know if you can see these dotted lines here, or dashed lines. That's on all sides of the paper, so I always have to cut those off to tape them together. So I need to fine tune all that kind of crap to get it the exact size I want it. So sometimes when I choose the size I want it to be, it's not exact because of the stuff like that. But I usually just adjust on the fly when dealing with that. Okay, so that's 2 rows together. We have 1 more row, and then we will cut it down to fit onto this wood, which is 24 by 48 wood. And you're welcome. Yeah, it was kind of embarrassing. I started a dang live stream, and as I started to trace it at 2 feet wide, I was thinking, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, because I was going to have to make all kinds of alterations on the design because some of it was just so dang small. And then the further I got into it, I said, I'm sorry, folks, but I'm going to have to end this live feed. I made this way too small. And I guess we could call that a Charles Deering problem, because only I could have issues of printing a pattern out too small. Well, I guess anybody that prints my designs out might run into that. Wanting a normal scroll saw project, and then they find out it's a billboard. But I still get people writing to me saying, what size is such and such a pattern? I don't have them in certain sizes. I scan them in at 300 DPI so that when they're enlarged like this, they're not distorted all the heck. And you can resize them whichever size you would like. More doable the larger you go, obviously. Good morning, Chad Benton. Appreciate you being here, sir. Still taping the sheets of paper together. There's 15 sheets of paper here. I was trying to figure out what that was. It's a hole in the aluminum foil I use for a window tint. That's the sun shining through my window. Yes, I know it's window. That's how I talk, by golly. Okay, let me get this lined up. And as soon as I get it taped up, we will do that half-inch border around everything, and then I will go over again. Or I could make that the contest. If you want to win this pattern for free, you tell me. Well, no, because I mentioned it on past videos, but we'll see. Y'all tell me who these Native Americans are in order, left to right. The first person to type that out will win this pattern if they so choose. And I'm going by the order it shows up on my StreamYard app, not YouTube. I don't know. Hopefully it'll translate the same. From left to right, who do we have here as far as the Native Americans? I'm not worried about the presidents up there. I'm glad you appreciate me. That makes it less awkward. From left to right, everybody better be typing feverishly. If not, you have not been paying attention and you fail the pop quiz. But even if you didn't hear me say their names, you should know by the way they look. Just saying, somebody needs to pay attention in class. If you don't know, you should be ashamed of yourselves. I'm going to let some votes come in but somebody's probably going back to watch the first live stream. No. I mean, I don't know which live stream it was on, but I showed the pattern and named off who they were. But whoever cheats first will get the answer. Again, I'm just throwing down random pieces of tape to hold it in place. And then I'll fully tape the whole row. Come on. Well, there must be a delay from YouTube to StreamYard, because I know somebody had to have been paying attention when I named off who these fellers were. Or anybody that paid attention in school. Yeah, there must be a delay from YouTube. Okay, Herb Hoover says, I failed the pop quiz. I get to sit in that corner with a cone on my head. Jacob says, I'm ashamed I have no clue. Okay, well, it's an easy pattern to win if anybody can guess it. But if you have to cheat and go to a past live stream, by God, do so. But I'm going to let a few more guesses come in, and then I'll just name them. Now, this design the idea came from a painting I saw, but it's not copyright infringement except for the name. I called it Founding Fathers, but a painting had Mount Rushmore, but this is my Mount Rushmore design that I had before I saw the painting, and each one of these Native Americans are designs I already had, so I altered, and plus he didn't have the same Native Americans in his painting, so I think we're safe on copyright. As soon as I get this tape together, I will tell you who these Native American guys are. I believe the original painting had Red Cloud in it somewhere. I don't remember where, but I replaced him because I already had some Native American designs I wanted to use on it. One more piece of tape and we're ready to cut the edges. Okay, let me check. Mac Pierce says I was, but I can't remember now. Josh Grover says 31 is Sitting Cloud. That's funny right there. Yeah. No, the third one is actually Geronimo. So everybody failed, so I'm going to go ahead and read it out to you. This will be on a future pop quiz. This is Chief Joseph, Sitting Bull, Geronimo, and Quanah Parker. So you were partially right, Josh. That Sitting Bull is in the portrait, but you said it was third, and unless you were talking third from the right. Anthony Campbell says Quanah Parker is the last one. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out a 1/2-inch border around everything. So let's do that. Anthony, did you cheat? That's funny right there. Let me move the camera down just a tiny bit because part of what I'm about to do is going to be on the bottom here. No, if he had cheated, he would have gotten all of them. But cheating was actually okay because I figured somebody might have to go back to an old live stream. You just wouldn't know right where to look. But Anthony got 3 out of the 4. So I'm afraid we have no prize today but we'll figure out something. Okay, I'm going to do a 1/2-inch border around this thing. And once I cut that off, we will be ready to roll as far as tracing. I want to make sure the straight edge is straight. I'm sure there's quicker ways of doing this, but I don't do things quickly, as we have all learned. Hello, Roberta Morton. Good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Jesse Ramirez says, how long have you been outing? I don't know what that means. It's probably a typo, but I can't figure it out, and I got to sneeze. Lordy. Bless me. Anthony Campbell says, has, because I've got quite a bit of Indian heritage in my family. I hear you. Good morning, Randy Northrup. DFW Scrollers. Today's prize is an empty Dr. Pepper bottle. I got a few of them. By God, I if somebody was that desperate for something from me, I could autograph an empty Dr. Pepper bottle. It'd probably be brought out once I died. Oh, yeah, I got an authentic Charles Deering autographed Dr. Pepper bottle. By God, if that's what I got to do to be famous, I'll take it. Always good to have people excited over whatever it takes. Okay, I won't use the word excited. I won't speak for people. But okay, let me trace this line onto here, or draw this line. Bless you. Thank you. Right back at you. Okay, we're going to draw this line, and that will be our cut line, or at least our fold line, and then I'll cut it. Again, if you're just joining and wondering, dude, why didn't you have this done ahead of time? It's because some people want to see the process, and I like being able to hang out with people during these live streams. Well, hanging out with people either way, because I don't get out very much. So we're just going to go through this whole process together. And the reason why I do this border around it is so that it can be framed without covering anything up. And also, if I were to be cutting out the background, which I won't be, but on that kind of design, it would be for stability and for something for the frame to hold on to. And no, I don't have a long yardstick. I have that framing square, that sheetrockers use, but it's too dang big and bulky to try to work it around obstacles in my shop. So we're just going to do it the hard way because that's what we do here. Alright, so the bottom border is done. Good morning, Mr. Ken Keys. I appreciate you being here, sir. I believe Ken Keys is the one, forgive me if I'm wrong, he may have done a sea turtle design or more. I just remember seeing his name, and I think he colored it or something along those lines. He was responsible for something to do with that, I believe. If nothing else, it was inspiration for somebody, but I've heard your name before, and I believe it was in relation to that design. And if you want to tell people where to find it, you're welcome to, but that's if I even have the information correct. Okay, we're going to do the 1/2 inch border on the other side now. I got the windows open so you might be able to hear those roosters. And I never use the end of a ruler or measuring device because I don't trust the ends of them. I just use somewhere randomly in the middle. Y'all might be able to hear those roosters. And I say that every time they go off, but they're pretty active right now. And Jacob says, we like the hard way, it's more fun. By golly, I'm with you on that. The hard way makes us learn too, because the more crap you go through, well, at least unless you're Homer Simpson, you learn when you do things the hard way. This is not an exact science. If I'm a hair off here and there, I don't really care. I also like metal straight edges because they don't damage near as quick as wood. John Nave, hello. Tony Coleman says that's going to be one super piece of work. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. This is one of my favorite designs. All right, Roberta Morton moved over to YouTube too. Yeah, a lot of people say that the YouTube video quality is a little better, but if nothing else, the YouTube chat is most definitely more active than YouTube, Facebook, and and it stays in order for some reason on Facebook. The chat doesn't go in order, and that's just weird. But depending on who you talk to, Facebook can be weird, but I like Facebook. All my friends are on Facebook, or people I think are my friends. Just kidding. Ken Key says that was a Kenny Hopkins pattern. I backed it with an actual photo, cut it many times. Okay, so that's where I heard it, is that you backed it with a photograph. I know you were somewhere I was associated with that. I haven't heard from Kenny Hopkins in a while. Hope he's doing okay. But not everybody's addicted to social media like I am. I used to be active on Instagram, but I don't want to have to dream up dang hashtags just to be relevant. That's too much thinking. Plus, I've never really looked to go viral on anything. I just have fun doing what I'm doing. And I probably got that a little off, but I don't really care because it will not end the world. This next one I probably will have to do with a giant, framing square, whatever the hell you call it, because I don't have much to go off of except for this George Washington head to make sure that's straight. But I will put that mark there, and then we'll use that gigantic what-you-call-it. What-you-call-it is the official name. And then we'll do that. So you'll see how much is getting cut off of this, and it'll all fit on the wood, by golly. Hello, Gary Adams. Appreciate you being here. T-square. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Chad. Yeah, words aren't always my friend. I'm going to make sure I didn't miss any comments. People saying hi to Mimi. Hello, Mimi. Appreciate you being here. Okay, yeah, there we are. Okay, I didn't miss any, except for people talking to each other. Now, let me get that T-square. I just learned that name. And we will get that line on there, except I'm going to have to hang it off the wood. Where's my line? Actually, it's just way more difficult than it needs to be, but if nothing else, I can just line it up with that mark. So this can be very vague. It's just to give me an idea so I have less paper hangover so I can tape the edges. Where's that mark? And once I rip all this off, we can measure, and I'll be able to tell you exactly how big the piece will be finished. Thingamajig. Yeah, that works too, by golly. That is an actual unit of measurement in Texas. Same as doohickey and whatchamacallit and doomahuchi and all that kind of stuff. Hello, Daniel Kermode. I'm using 1/4-inch maple ply. Okay. Now, since I don't have a large surface to use an X-Acto knife on, I'm just going to use the straight edge and just tear it off because I'm high-tech. And none of this will be exact. I'll adjust whenever I go to finish it for public consumption. Now, since tracing this will probably take a while, after I'm done tracing it, I will end the live feed, but I also I want to stack cut this, and it's going to mean it's going to be heavy, but I also, y'all know me, I might change my mind about stack cutting it because of how heavy and large it is. But unless y'all don't mind sitting there standing there while I unless y'all don't mind sitting there while I put the stack together, run over to the table saw and cut it off so I don't have the overhang. And yes, if you don't have a pair of scissors handy or an X-Acto knife, or don't have a surface to use an X-Acto knife, this is how you do it. You get a straight edge like this, and then you just tear it off at the edge. I know I'm probably mathematically a little off on this because I moved a couple times, but there's worse problems to have. And it was funny, I believe it was Josh Grover that brought it up yesterday, because if you've watched any of these live feeds before, you know that I generally start with the eyes on a project and then move on to the rest of the face. But there are 8 different faces on here, so I'm probably going to start on all the faces or just go from left to right. I have no idea. I might just randomly start right there in the middle and then draw my line further over. Measure from the middle. Yes, sir. If you look up Founding Fathers on woodenvisions.com, well, you click on Patterns for Sale, then Shop, and then you click on Scroll Saw Patterns, and then you'll have a little search bar in the right column, and type in Founding Fathers. It will take you to this. And thank you for asking. Okay, I'm just drawing this line the rest of the way so that I can use it as a cut line, so to speak. But I am publicly shaming all of y'all that failed my pop quiz. Didn't know who these spellers were. Golly gee whiz. Just kidding. Because I'm not entirely sure I'm smarter than a 5th grader. You know what I mean? Okay, that could be the technician. That's probably a spammer. Hello? Okay, I don't know. Sorry I had to do that because I'm expecting a technician to come by. And that was a recording saying, hello, I am in your area. I will be here at 10:50 a.m., which is 20 minutes from now. So, but just know that if this live stream ends, I will be back. I just can't give an exact time because I don't know how long it's going to take them. But they're installing a second line, so I don't have to compete with the stupid Xbox in the house. And generally, I'm not the kind that will answer phones on a live stream, but when I'm expecting an important call, sometimes I have to interrupt. So if this live stream suddenly goes dead, it's because they disconnected without talking to me first. But I did leave a note on the door saying that I was out in the shop and to contact me. And but regardless of why this live stream will end, it will be back as long as I have any control over the matter. Because they were so reliable that they told me between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. And, God knows, 8 hours, I can't schedule around that. And you know me, I'm not going to go without doing a live stream. So if it goes dead, we will be back, folks. Fret not, my friends. I will catch up on comments as soon as I'm back close to the laptop. But I am excited at the potential of never having to worry about Xbox playing, interfering with the video quality. So there's that. Now, if I can just get a new laptop, we'll never have issues again. Naves Woodworking said we should have had a family-friendly, or had a friendly bet to see which pair of eyes Charles would have started from. Your car warranty is about to run out. That's funny right there. Hello, David Jones of Portal Woodworks. And John Nave says, we will patiently await your return, the Master Daring. Well, I appreciate that. You flatter me way too much, Portal. I keep getting calls about dang medical bracelet. Yeah. I was afraid to answer that because I thought it might be a debt collector, and I owe a debt collector. Once they get you on the phone, and if you verify who you are, they got you. But if you don't tell them who you are, they can't say they got a hold of you. Anyway, I wasn't sure, but I'm glad I answered because I knew the technician might be calling. But I might get another call saying I am here. And then in that case, I will have to go very quickly. But I gave y'all my word. Unless he kills me, I will be back. Even if the second line issue is not resolved, because I still have the other connection. I'm the only one home, so that narrows the odds of traffic on the connection. But I didn't want to wait and see when they got here to start this live stream, so I knew I had a potential of being interrupted. But it probably won't be long because it probably doesn't take that much. I don't know what it does take, but they don't have to tear down the house to do it. Whoops, I got the straight edge on the wrong side of the line there because I'm brilliant. But every one of y'all watching, I encourage y'all to stick by your notifications because as soon as humanly possible, I will be right back. It probably won't be 30 minutes if that long. I don't know how long the process takes to do a second line, but don't y'all run off too far because you bet old Charlie's going to be back. And there's a few old friends, but first time live stream viewers that kind of melted my heart to see them in there. Randy Northrup, Roberta Martin, and of course the usuals that are here almost every live stream. I appreciate y'all just as much. Okay, one more edge to dagnabbit. If I could stop bumping that camera, we'd all be good. Roberta Martin says, I finally listened to that car warranty. It said press 2 to be removed from the list. I did. No more calls. Wow. That's rare that they give you the option to get off the list. But I think the laws may have changed, but I know at one time you could say, if it was an actual person, you could just tell them, please put me on your do not call list, and legally they couldn't call you back. But whether or not they did or held on to that is another story. But yeah, the laws are always changing, but just ain't no telling. I couldn't work at a job like that. I don't like having enemies, even though you may never talk to them again. But I will have enemies if I need to, because I don't want to get stepped on and walked on either. I used to be bullied and pushed around so much when I was younger, so that's why I snap so quick to disrespect now, because making up for lost time, better late than never. But anybody that knows me knows in general I'm a nice guy. I don't go around starting crap, intentionally anyway. I try to be a very friendly guy. I don't start crap just for the sake of starting crap. And some people are actually entertained by that. They call it trolling. Life's too short to be a butt nugget. Yeah, every now and then they will abide by the report. See, okay, I might have been a little bit off here, so I don't want to cut off George Washington's head. Well, apparently I did not print it out correctly. But let me line it up at the bottom. We'll just be very close at the top with George Washington's head, as long as it doesn't go over. Yeah, we got a lot less than a half inch at the top, but I'm okay with that. So let me tape one side down, and we'll throw the carbon paper underneath. But take in mind, the phone call I just got did say that they would be here by 10:50, so they could be here any moment. But I put a note on the front door, so hopefully we'll all... So when they do get here, I will be leaving quickly, because I want to go until they get here. So excuse the fact that I run out suddenly. That would be why. But I want to go down to the wire, or at least until I get this tape down. And then we'll ask that people stick around. If you are watching on YouTube and are not subscribed, I hope you will consider subscribing and clicking that bell to be notified. It also notifies Facebook too, but there's that. Okay, we've got a bunch of sheets of carbon paper to put down. But what I may do is, if I don't get much done before they get here, I will just already have it taped down, and then we'll all just start, you know? That way you don't have to see me doing this part right here, but right now you do. Yeah, I'm a little bummed that the top of that George Washington head's going to go off, but you'll still be able to tell what it is. I always keep all these sheets of carbon paper from past patterns, and that's bent. We don't want an open area. So every sheet of carbon paper you see here is from a past pattern I've designed. And I've only got over 1,600, so there's not a whole lot. My gut tells me they're going to show up any second now. So as soon as I lay this down, if they haven't gotten here, I may go ahead and sign off until they get here and get it done. That way we have a stopping point while live, and it's not sudden, but they'll probably show up before I'm ready to stop. I don't tape these individual carbon paper sheets down. I just tape the edges of the piece, and as long as this doesn't fall off the table, we should be good as far as nothing moving underneath. Should be is the key word. Rather than guessing or trying to recall how high up that pattern goes, that's why I'm just filling the whole area with carbon paper, even if it doesn't get used. Okay, that's probably the technician, so I'll probably be going pretty quick. Hello. Hello. Thank you. Okay, they are here. Wait. I don't know if y'all can hear me again. They are here, so I have to go, but I will be back. I just didn't know right when they were going to get here, so that's why I started the live stream. But they are here, and I give y'all my word. Y'all look for them notifications. I will be back. But above all, appreciate y'all being here. And, of course, y'all need to scrub along.